Four visitors have been cited by DLNR officers for trespassing in the East Rift Zone. The men from Wisconsin and California were spotted just before 5 yesterday evening. They were cited for loitering in a disaster area and trespassing. At least 80 people have been cited since the eruption began. Now to the latest, more homes are claimed by lava. Mileka Lincoln joins us live in Pahoa, where a community meeting is happening tonight. Mileka?
Aloha, yes. In fact, that community meeting just got underway with a pule that has just wrapped up, a prayer asking that all residents here in Puna remain strong, remain kind and respectful of one another, of course, during this extremely trying time. And that is the resilience and aloha that we have certainly seen on display over the last nearly 8 weeks since that very first fissure opened up on May 3rd in Leilani Estates. Preparing now to address the crowd, you can see Will Okabe stepping in for Hawaii County Mayor Harry Kim, who is still on the mend, recovering from both a heart attack and pneumonia in recent weeks. Now, Hawaii County Civil Defense Agency officials have confirmed the number of homes that have been claimed by lava has risen to 657 since Sunday. However, officials do admit that number is likely higher. Keep in mind, this count only includes permitted homes and not unpermitted structures, of which there are many in the Puna neighborhoods that have been impacted. At this time, officials still have not been able to provide us with a breakdown of how many of the 657 houses included in their figure include primary residences versus secondary or vacation homes. Thousands have been displaced in this ongoing eruption, but not all of them have lost their houses. Many are families who have homes that are untouched by lava but are inaccessible. Now, to report your home or property damaged or destroyed, you are asked to call the Hawaii Real Property Tax Office. That number, 808-961-8201. However, if you need to report that your home or property is inaccessible due to lava isolation or mandatory evacuation, you're asked instead to call Civil Defense, 808-935-0031. Now, according to USGS HVO scientists, the lava delta that has filled what was once Kapoho Bay is now 405 acres, as has encroached into an area where the water was at least 200 feet deep. They say the flow front at the coast has broadened southward and is now nearly 2 miles wide. They're very carefully watching that outbreak to see if it may approach a Halanui Park. At this time, they're saying that has not happened, that it is creeping along, but that is certainly a possibility. Coming up in the next hour on Hawaii News Now at 6, what they have been able to track and the progress that they've made in trying to determine exactly what's happening at Halemaumau Crater and how it's impacting the lower East Rift Zone. That's coming up. For now, reporting live here in Pahoa, I'm Mileka Lincoln for Hawaii News Now.
Mileka, thank you. Well, new video from USGS takes us above Halemaumau Crater at Kilauea Summit. An unoccupied aircraft system on Sunday found that the deepest part of the crater is now over 1,300 feet below the caldera floor. Scientists are studying the video to understand how the expanding collapse area is changing.
Okay, up at the summit, Halemaumau continues to grow larger as more of the crater floor, adjacent crater floor, slumps inward. And this is all related to magma that's withdrawing from beneath Halemaumau and going into the volcano, into the East Rift Zone, most likely. It's really hard to get a sense of the scale of what's occurring up there. We have some instruments on the crater floor up there that show during these collapse explosion events that these instruments are dropping 1.5, almost 2 meters, so up to 6 feet in one drop. And then also they're moving toward the center of Halemaumau. I showed you this figure a little while ago. It's a plot of the collapse volume of earlier collapses on the left-hand scale and time. Here we are, 2018, early in the eruption. Now we were there last week. the area has lost even more volume. These numbers kind of change a little bit, so it's not actually doubled in just a week. The way we do those calculations and so on, we continue to refine them, and so this is just a larger number. It's almost 400 million cubic meters of volume has been lost at the summit, and that's about 13 million cubic meters a day. So we're still losing more and more material as the magma withdraws down deep. As a consequence of the faulting and the slumping, there are lots of earthquakes. This is a map showing you the earthquakes just in the past 7 days. The number up there is about 4,400 earthquakes. If we just look at the magnitude 3 and above earthquakes, there have been about 290. And the larger circles here are the sort of earthquake location associated with the collapse explosion event. Those are the magnitude 5.3, 5.2 events. So in the past week, these have occurred about once a day. This is a plot, a week-long plot, showing you the hourly earthquake counts. And you can see that the counts vary. And the quiet time in here happens just after one of these collapse explosion events. So after the ground just drops, the volcano kind of takes a little bit of a breather, but the magma is still withdrawing. So as it continues to withdraw, it loses support of the material that just dropped. And so then things start to drop a little bit at a time. You start getting more and more earthquakes. It builds up to a plateau here and continues for a while, 12 hours or so or more, and then the thing drops again. So what does it look like when one of these events occur? Early on, we talked about ash plumes forming, and some of the earlier ash plumes went up to 20,000 feet, perhaps, a little bit higher. So this is a view of the crater area yesterday afternoon, mid-afternoon. Not much of a plume coming out of Halemaumau, which is located right here. And then this is what one of those collapse explosion events is now producing that you can see visibly. It's not very much. It's a white plume rising here from this part of the crater. You see it's a little colored, so there's a little bit of ash. Primarily from rock falls. There's also a little extra volcanic gas, sulfur dioxide gas mixed in with that. So because we've had several of these events producing very little ash and very little height gained in these plumes, this past week we lowered the aviation color code, the sort of threat code, from red to orange, which is where it's been for the last 10 years or so. So at this point, we're waiting for another seismic event to occur. It can occur any minute. The last one occurred yesterday about 5:07, so just 24 hours ago. So the next one is going to happen anytime. Thank you.